All right, here we are, game 2 between NewBee and LFY. NewBee up 1-0 as we get right on into this draft. I'm your caster B-Cop, joined here by Franz. And we get a look into this draft already of NewBee with Troll Warlord now on their side, as well as picking up that Sand King one more time. And LFY, they do elect to go back to that Warlock. So, interesting little start from both sides to start it off. And then they go again back to that Slardar. So, any thoughts on LFY kind of going back to that same kind of draft as they did in game 1?
Yeah, so Warlock's a really stable first pick since he's kind of good in lane and he's also good in team fights. LFY seem to value a position for roamer a lot. Looking at the past couple of series they played, they first phased Earth Spirit a lot, but since that's been banned, I think they settled for a Slardar support instead. NewBee, they value the Legion Commander a lot, but it looks like they want the Troll Warlord instead for their first phase.
So,
Wouldn't be surprised if LFY ban. Well, they start by banning those answer, but I wouldn't be surprised if they also ban the Legion Commander or take it for themselves.
yeah, so Bat Rider banned out, Silencer banned out. I was actually, right before they banned it out, I was going to say, with the counter that the Silencer was able to produce in game 1, they had to ban it out for sure. And obviously, there they do. And now NewBee, they're going to ban out that Terrorblade, which is... NewBee, they're banning out the Terrorblade, someone who really does well in the early game. I would assume that NewBee kind of want to bring this a little bit later with the Troll pick first.
Yeah, Terrorblade does decently well against Troll. Terrorblade has naturally high armor, and if you don't kill him adequately enough, he sunders you. Now, there we go with the Legion Commander ban. NewBee seems to play that hero a lot, from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's one of KP's signature heroes for sure. So Troll Warlord, Sand King.
Relative to last game, there's a lot of offlaners that are still in the pool. I think last game it was mostly offlaners that were banned: Magnus and Axe.
Clockwork, Bat Rider.
Yeah, they have a lot of options here.
Yeah, so they're gonna pick up the Dazzle, which I don't know. I've seen Dazzle a couple times, and to me, when a team picks Dazzle, it just hasn't really worked out too much, or it just seems like to not be enough. That's really just to keep the Troll alive. And what are they looking for with that Dazzle as well?
Yeah, well, I think Dazzle's really strong on lane, especially aggressive duel or aggressive tri lanes, or just protecting your lane in general. And he does a good job controlling the armor of his team, but he doesn't have any pickoff or gank potential, so that's one of his weaknesses. Same with Warlock.
Well, sometimes early you do see Dazzle go with the Poison Touch, and then Troll follows that up and tries to get the kill. And they could if Sand King is also there, so a tri-lane of Sand King, Dazzle, and Troll could turn into a couple of kills for them.
Yeah, Troll's one of the better laners in the game as well, so that's looking like a good tri-lane so far.
That is not looking too great for LFY. I kind of like Troll, Sand King, and Dazzle as a tri-lane, so I would assume Sand King's probably going to stay on Kaka. It's another signature hero for NewBee, especially for Kaka. That means they're probably looking for a mid and an offlaner in the draft of NewBee, and then LFY, it looks as though they've gone with Slardar, who's going to be in that kind of 4 position, and Warlock supporting. They still need all 3 of their cores.
Yep.
And there's the Lifestealer, which that was a popular combination a while back. We don't see it as much anymore, Lifestealer and Slardar, but LFY, they're going to go with it here. Lifestealer, Slardar, of course, being that nice Uber driver for the Lifestealer.
Yeah, LFY's pick-off potential, and so far their team fight also looks much stronger than NewBee's. Let's see, we still have to see 2 more cores from NewBee, assuming that the Sand King's not going off lane. He might not be the best offlaner against Lifestealer Warlock.
Well, then, do you then throw the Troll off lane and throw the Sand King safe lane to try and switch it up? if he
That is
goes.
definitely a possibility, but it's up to NewBee. They could also pick something like an Axe to fare well against the Lifestealer.
Yeah, so what? You've got Sand King Troll, and you were talking about the team fight on LFY of Lifestealer, Slardar, and Warlock already being pretty solid. We said that game one, where LFY, to us at least, had the better team fight, but it didn't obviously end up working out for them. And now Magnus, who was not banned out, is going to be that offlaner for NewBee, and that makes the team fight very good for NewBee, as Magnus and Troll together are a very tough combo to beat.
I actually forgot about that. You were looking into that pick. That's a really good pick for NewBee. That kind of propels Troll onto a whole nother level, because not only is he cleaving in fights, and not only does he have an RP to work with, but he's just generally one or two items further than he would normally be.
Back, I would say maybe a month ago, I saw Magnus Troll together for Team or Wings Gaming, which was now then Team Random, which is now nothing. But they pulled off some great Magnus Troll combos, and it just obliterates a team just so quickly. It's going to be very crucial for LFY to really be able to counter this. And with Ricky coming out, that throws Slardar in the offlane position.
I think they picked the Ricky for a little bit more early aggression and early scouting information. Since now their gears have changed, instead of they don't want to like sit in one position for too long, because whenever you play against a melee carry that has Empower, you will always pretty much get out farmed if you sit around too long. So Ricky does a good job of roaming and scouting for information for all stages of the game.
Yeah, so you're saying that LFY, they are going for the early aggression, and obviously Lifestealer, they're going to try and get that blink out on Slardar quick, get Lifestealer 6 as quickly as possible. Does it really match up to NewBee? They've got the Troll, who, even despite taking a little while to come online, does do well pretty early. Like, does the lineup of LFY really scare NewBee in the early game, even though they've got this early game lineup?
I think it works a little bit better now. It's not if they can do it. It's more like it's their best game plan, because Lifestealer doesn't exactly farm particularly quickly, and especially against the Troll with Empower. So they pick a hyper aggressive mid like Lena, and they're gonna try to kind of build up an advantage early and try to snowball off of it. Your goal against a team that can always outfarm you is to try to take as much map control as possible, kind of like what they tried to do last game. But I think the game really turned around when they lost that Roshan fight, because last game it looked like LFI was doing a good job of slowing down the Sven and Invoker's item progression.
With the Templar Assassin pick last, I feel like NewBee, once they get to that like mid game where Dazzle has Weave, and all of a sudden you're getting this huge minus armor onto LFY, Templar Assassin and Troll, even without the Magnus, are just gonna rip through this LFY team. Like, LFY, I feel like they have a very strict timing that they have to hit to win this game.
Yeah, LFY have to be scared about the Magnus RP counter initiation, but they still have a huge burst potential between Lifestealer and Lena, so I wouldn't be surprised if they can win it off of some critical pickoffs.
Yeah, the problem, again, even if they do have that good early and mid game, if it goes ultra late, let's say if they do have that good early and mid game, they're still kind of on the clock, and they have to make use of it, I feel.
Yep. They still have the, I think, I'd say, theoretically, if LFY... Oh, that's a really obnoxious Lifestealer taunt. Theoretically, if LFY take the early and mid game, they still have a really good high grounding mechanic through Lena and Lifestealer. So
that really is annoying. Oh my god, I'm gonna get off of this. I can't watch that.
Yep.
Oh,
he's spamming it too.
Yeah, I'm not looking over there. It's not happening. Camera is away from you, Life Stealer. You breakdancing fool.
He's gonna do it in the middle of a fight.
For sure.
You know, like he's just chasing. Oh, there's a smoke coming out from NewBee.
Yeah, they're gonna go for this again. The first time they did it, they didn't find anything out of it, and they just kind of ended up splitting bounty runes. But
Ricky's gonna miss that as well.
Yeah, he's too far forward. Afu's
I wonder if they
to...
specifically timed that to dodge the Ricky, knowing that he would be kind of on a random part of the map.
Well, let's see if the breakdancing gets Monet in a little bit of trouble. Kaka's going to come over. The smoke's going to be broken. They're going to dust, thinking that it's going to be Ricky. Now they're kind of far away from Monet. They're going to try and catch up to him, but level 1 Burrow Strike really doesn't have much range, and this time around it will be 3 bounty runes for 1.
Imagine that. You're just a life stealer breakdancing on top of the rune. Suddenly you're affected by dust of appearance and you don't see anything.
Kind of lay down the cardboard. Make sure you don't scrape yourself up if you're going to be breakdancing that much. So KP, we actually do see, not the way I thought it would go, obviously, earlier in the draft. I thought it might be Sand King who goes up top, but KP is going to be the one up top, and bottom is going to be Mugi, who's going to be up against Monet on this Lifestealer. So do you see these lanes kind of, with this change, favoring any or either side?
I think the Troll Warlord tri-lane with NewBee is a lot stronger than the Lifestealer tri-lane.
He's got the rage to get out every now and then, but how many times can you just go in and out like that until maybe you give up and kind of swap with a Swardar? But even then, that's not a strong lane up against the tri-lane of NewBee. It's just a very strong tri-lane. And over mid. Do miss the first blood of Super getting SCCC. That's like the first kill I've missed today. But a big one.
That's one of the weaknesses of NewBee's tri-lane is that their Sand King and Dazzle are kind of locked into this lane, so they can't help out with the mid matchup. But they should do well in this bottom lane. Especially because Lifestealer can't fight into Dazzle as soon as Dazzle starts having the heal.
They're going to try again as they get the LSA out on SCCC. This time he's going to be not as low as he was before, but this is really becoming a nuisance for this Templar Assassin over mid. Are you going to end up having to send Dazzle to kind of babysit?
She's going to do really poorly, but TA is one of those heroes that can catch up pretty quickly with Sideblades. So I think as long as his team is doing well, he's pretty okay with tanking these ganks. He's even got like a half level advantage on the Lina because the Ricky's soaking up so much experience. So
yeah, but still, again and again, that LSA continues to fly out. And
not the worst situation for him.
Yeah, this time it's not really going to cause a kill as Ricky's not over there. But NewBee, they're trying to dive deep on Monet. He's going to be able to salve up, back off, and stay in lane, which now without that regen might be in a little bit of trouble if NewBee do push the issue once more. And actually Monet comes out a little bit too far. There's the rage to get off that nice poison touch. But that's rage down for 10 seconds. Maybe again NewBee might look to go in.
Yep. So this is one of the counters to aggressive tri-lanes is just pulling the lane. The Warlock pull the lane in, what it does is it causes your lane to kind of double up, which makes it harder for the enemy team to go on you at that specific moment.
Yeah, but even then, I feel like there's just so much potential for NewBee to possibly get a kill, especially Kaka now has the Burrow Strike, which he's waiting to use on Monet. The Shadow Wave comes through from Faith. They do get the Burrow Strike to line up. Shadow Wave's going to try and keep him alive from DDC. Now the smoke screen comes out, and they do get the Blind of the Whirling Axes, but Monet getting very low still. The Fatal Bond's out on all 3 of these heroes, going to dust up Afu, and they will get another kill from DDC. Monet will finally be cleaned up, and now they head towards Afu, who's dusted up. So Mugi here with Faith. They're going to try and move forward for him, and then once they lose vision, they're going to say enough of that. And they'll just continue on their merry way of farming up this lane and being a bit more aggressive onto Monet.
Yeah. What would have been normally just a single kill for NewBee ended up for a 1-for-1 trade because of that Ricky rotation, which is really good. By Afu. That looks like Afu might get the courier here.
Ooh, one more shot. There it is. And courier dead. Not going to cost him his life as that's CCC, no dust. No sentry to really catch out Afu, so Afu doing a pretty good job. Made the rotation bottom, made NewBee pay for their aggression, and now he gets himself a nice courier kill.
That's when you yell at your supports for having a ground courier at 3.5 minutes.
Almost 4 minutes, yeah. That's worse than my pubs.
I'm sure they had other things on their minds.
It's still always surprising when you just kind of see a ground courier in a professional game just that long out.
Yeah.
But now coming over mid is going to be Afu again. And let's see if they continue to move forward on SCCC. They do have the Sentry Ward vision, so might be in a little bit of trouble if he does continue forward. And actually the Sentry Ward is going to be able to catch the one on the Dire side. And now Ricky will be able to move freely around this mid.
I think he might ward up this Ancient Camp, maybe? Or he might soon. So Lina has kind of an easier lane in this matchup to begin with, and with that Ricky helping him or her, the TA is having a really rough time.
Yeah, continuing to get harassed out. The Dragon's Wave brings SCCC to half health, having to use that salve. So now completely out of regen. And it's been quite a struggle, and Afu's not going away anytime soon, and they're going to look to push the issue on this Templar Assassin. Afu, level 3, so has the Blink Strike, has the Smoke Screen, and really just ready to punish this TA and just be such a pain. Is there a counter to this? Is Dazzle, again, I mean, I asked the same question. Is Dazzle going to have to babysit? Can he babysit well enough?
Team might die here. Oh, no. So, the Dazzle, I think if the tri-lane was in the top lane, one of those support heroes from NewBee could have rotated in. But because they're in an aggressive tri-lane, the Sand King and the Dazzle kind of have to always be present. Otherwise, LFY might win this lane with the Reki. So that's one concern you're having. But if you're the TA, you're happy just getting levels, since the lane's kind of hard to begin with. So it's not like a support coming in is gonna particularly help. In fact, I would argue that the Dazzle might not do much except prevent the TA from dying. It won't actually secure the TA any farm in that lane. So she's better off getting her levels and trying to catch up with neutral creeps.
And I'm surprised they haven't tried to block this camp yet, the Ancient Camp. As we take a look at KP, someone who I haven't really been focusing on all too much. He's got himself the Arcane Boots, Iron Talon, just been farming this jungle with Empower, and Kaka's going to come over, and Afu's just going to scout this out. And now maybe Kaka might be in a little bit of trouble, and he is, as the Light Strike Array, as well as the Laguna Blade, cleans up an easy Sand King kill. And they still know where KP is. KP running all the way out of the jungle, forced out. Maybe he senses that Afu's around him, especially knowing that Lina's nearby. You kind of want to get out of trouble and kind of go across the mid lane. But Afu just following him step for step, so they're continuing to get this scout from the Ricky.
So this Life Stealer is relatively behind, especially since he got aggressive tri-laned. I think they moved the Slaughter down here just to secure Slaughter's farm for that Blink. They're probably hoping to make a comeback for the Life Stealer through the Slaughter Blink.
And they do have a pretty impressive lead, 8 minutes in, 2,000 net worth. Of course, that's the early game aggression that you were talking about. They're up 3-1. They've been farming really well mid, and Slardar has been farming pretty decently.
Yeah, I think the Slaughter Blink is going to be the key for the Life Stealer catching up, especially since their Lina's already in a position to make big moves happen, since she's so far ahead of the TA.
And again, Afu is going to spot Kaka, and Laguna Blade is on the line. We take a look up top. Monet is here. Maybe they get themselves a kill on Kaka, as Monet is coming over with Afu, but Mugi's going to be here. The Barrel Strike's going to come out on Monet. Might be in a little bit of trouble as the Smoke Screen is going to hit on Faith. There's the Infest onto one of his own creeps, and now Super's joined the fray. The Blink Strike is out. Shadow Wave heals him back up, and Burrow Strike will get him out of harm's way. So NewBee all right for now, and Afu just going to continue to be the shadow of these heroes on NewBee. Very frustrating.
Slider's just about got his Blink.
Faith, Smoke Screen comes out. Monet and Super here. Laguna Blade just to clean him up real quick. And Mugi's going to turn the other way and just say goodbye to his Dazzle for now, as there's really and absolutely nothing he can do. So,
yeah. If you're LFI, you really have to respect the farm speed of NewBee's heroes. I think as soon as Slaughter gets his blink, there's going to be non-stop fighting.
yeah, that's the early game you were talking about, and that's really, they want to continue the aggression. They've got a pretty hefty lead this early in the game. They want to just snowball out of control, make sure NewBee don't get their items, don't get their ability to really extend the game and get to that mid to late game. But what do NewBee do to kind of counter this heavy aggression? Do they just try to sit further back, or are they just trying to farm up where they can and keep some good ward vision up? But of course, Ricky, he's the ultimate ward.
Yeah, it's tough, especially before the Magnus gets his blink. It's hard for them to really fight to LFY's lineup. I'm pretty sure, like, if LFY jumped the right person, that person's always gonna die, unless the Dazzle's nearby to save them.
And sometimes they'll just go on the Dazzle.
Yep. Oh. NewBee have kind of a timing with their heroes, so when the Magnus gets his blink and when the Troll gets his first couple of items, I think NewBee just have to hang on and try to push out the lanes as much as they can. Just be aware of LFY's positioning and up.
Over mid, LSA comes out, and Sardo's going to be here. There's the Laguna Blade hit on SCCC. He's going to be shallow graved up. He'll end up surviving the engagement, which is pretty beneficial for NewBee. They don't want to lose that TA, as SCCC kind of behind both the Lina and the Swordar.
Yeah, that's huge, because now Laguna Blade's on cooldown and they get to keep their tower for at least another minute. These mid towers are really important this patch for maintaining your map control.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty much exclusively the most important tower in games in the new meta, or in the current meta, not the new meta. So Mugi, take a look at his items. He's gone Vlad, so the same build as the Troll Warlord we saw in the previous game, and he's going to be looking for more of an early offense as well with that Vlad.
It's another smoke.
And they're going to come over mid. There's the Blink with the Slithering Crush. They've got the Corrosive Haze as well. The Light Strike Array is going to hit with the Dragon Slave. Here comes the Chaotic Offering. That's going to follow it up. SCCC, he's going to be shallow graved, but I don't know how long this is going to last. One more shot. Refraction keeps him alive for now. So the Blink on forward. Sardo's going to get the kill. Meanwhile, on the back end, they're going to take out this Dazzle. Monet, or Mugi is going to have to back off as the RP is used. They get themselves a kill on a Ricky, but just RP for a Ricky seems to be a bit much, and they also lose the Templar Assassin as well as the Dazzle. So, you know, despite SCCC going down in that fight, and over mid again, LFY is going to get another kill, this time on KP, as I was following someone else, but it is 7-2. I was just about to say they only had an 1,800 net worth lead, but with that kill, they moved it up to about 3,000, and it's still kind of just sitting at that mark. Queen leads the top of the net worth. Troll not too far behind. NewBee, I mean, the plan's got to be just to try and extend the game and farm for right now.
I think this Troller is just going to continue split pushing until NewBee feel like they're ready to fight. Similar situation to last game.
Blink, Slithering Crush comes out on two, as well as the Light Strike Array. Dazzle, Faith dead again. So this is just really not going well. Corrosive Haze comes out on KP. Let's see, they have the Slithering Crush, but Blink canceled. They're not going to be able to close the distance, and KP will be able to survive. Dazzle is not having fun, I would say.
No. This Magnus and TA are a little bit behind from the other game, so...
And that's exactly what LFY want. They want to be able to continue to snowball down in this early game. So you've got the Blink for the Swardar. You take a look over at Monet, who is just about level 10, and they probably wait for that armlet, I would say. He didn't end up going for the Midas first. Sometimes you do see the armlet, then the Midas. But he goes for the Midas, now going for the Armlet. I would assume they wait for the Armlet to really start using that Blink, Slithering Crush in Fest Pop to its fullest potential.
Yeah, it definitely helps a lot, especially since he needs that armor to survive a potential Troll Warlord hitting them.
So Slithering Crush comes out. RP is going to be used on just the Sword. They do end up getting the Barrel Strike, but now in a little bit of trouble is going to be NewBee. They get the Laguna Blade coming out on Kaka. He's going to be the first one to fall. Shallow Grave is going to follow this up. Meanwhile, Mugi on the back end is going to fall, as well as KP hitting the deck from Super, who's got a double kill. And it's now 11-2 in favor of LFY. They lose nothing in that exchange, and they take out 3 of their own, now extend the lead to 5,000 net worth.
I think NewBee really wanted to get a kill with that Magnus Blink, but they weren't expecting so many of LFY's heroes to be there. So, really kind of fired back on them.
So 11-2, 5,000 net worth lead. Super already 15 Bloodstone charges for this Alina, and you know, sometimes you kind of see with Alina, and obviously this is usually every Bloodstone carrier, you know, you get that Bloodstone and you immediately die thereafter, but getting those 3 charges are pretty crucial, I feel.
Yep. Gives her the farm speed she needs. And looks like there's a Roche attempt. LFY are aware of this.
Yeah, so they might look to come in. The rotation's already out from Super. Sardar's going to try and come in as the smoke screen's out on Dazzle, and Faith dead again. 12-2. Let's take a look. Faith 0-4-2. Only 11 last hits. It's just a sad, sad Dazzle. And now LFY with that, they're going to be able to take Roche. It shouldn't be too hard. NewBee probably not going to try and contest this at all as they're looking for their own little bit of farm.
Yeah, so Roche attempt here. Looks like they'll have it. And with that, probably Lena's going to take it. But actually, Lifestealer made room for it.
They're going to take out Faith again. Wow. Just Afu and the Swordar.
So, Ricky's Slaughter combination was also underrated, I think, for pickoffs.
So TPing bottom is going to be Monet, as he does have that Aegis, and coming over is Afu. He's going to be under Sentry Ward Vision. Here comes the Burrow Strike. Infest is already going to be popped over by those creeps, and he's going to have to use Tricks of the Trade to get out. So he's going to be able to escape the grasp of Mugi and Kaka, and now he's just here with Afu and Monet.
This Ricky is surprisingly tanky with an urn.
And he's going for the Diffusal Blade next. Ricky, more net worth than Kaka on the Sand King, and just a poor Dazzle is what we're seeing with 1,200 net worth, almost 20 minutes in. So, is there a timing with how far ahead LFY is? Is there a timing right now for LFY that they have to beat, or can they kind of take their time to get these next couple items up and running?
I don't think there's a particular timing. They're just waiting to have the lanes in a nice position where they can look for, or where they feel confident they can go for a pickoff. Right now with their wards, they don't see anyone but the Magnus for LFY.
And they're actually looking to smoke. As for them, Monet, DDC, Swardar, as well as the Ricky. And they're going to come over. They might be able to oh, God. Faith, run! Please! Oh, my God.
They can still go for him up here.
Yeah, they could still come over mid. And, oh, boy. Faith, Blink, Slithering Crush, Corrosive Haze, Monet with another. And Faith hits the deck again.
LFY kind of have to be a little bit worried here because it's a TA and a Troll Warlord top. So, looks like the Slaughter is going to set up for it.
And really, still no Desolator for SCCC. Kind of a bit behind on that farm. So Kaka has that Blink Dagger available. We take a look over at the Magnus. He's got the Blink Dagger going for the Recovery Midas. And Mugi, and he's going to be going for the SNY, which was not the case with the previous troll.
I think whenever a NewBee see the Slaughter on the map, there's a little bit of a sigh of relief, because Slaughter is the main vehicle for LFY to kill anyone.
Meanwhile, Swordar, he's now infested, and Afu is still just being the ultimate ward that Ricky is. And
He's trying to look for the right initiation, but I think they don't see the
RP again for the Ricky. They'll get the kill. And now it looks as though Sardar's going to try and turn it around as there's the blink with the Slithering Crush. Dragon Slave comes in, but Monet's going to get the kill as he pops out of that infest, uses the Rage, and they find one more as they take out KP again. So he's 0-3. Monet doing very well right now as he's 2-1-1 in Super 8-0. Really the tail of this game at this moment in time. 17 Bloodstone charges, 8-0. Top of the net worth by quite a bit over this Templar Assassin. But does that change? Does the team fight aspect change with the Desolator now coming out for SCCC?
Nah, I don't think so. I think she really needs either BKB or Hurricane Pike just so she doesn't get bursted from the Lifestealer Elena.
And Midas is now finished for DDC.
It helps her push out the lanes, but again, since NewBee were so behind in the early game, I think they're kind of stuck in the split pushing.
Oh, already the infest from the Sword blinking away is going to be SCCC, but he's still going to be hit with that blink and Slithering Crush. They're not going to pop the infest. And actually, the rest of the NewBee is kind of high on this mid lane, and they're not going to come over to get this kill. And now a blink Slithering Crush again as the infest gets popped in. SCCC in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get that refraction off as well as the Corrosive Haze is going to be out on him. He's going to fall to Monet and this Slardar. So they do end up getting the kill on him, something I was kind of waiting for with the camera missing that kill on Kaka over by this shrine. And I could have caught them both. What a catch. Yeah. The nice one on GA. And
that's a really nice sword from LFY next to the Dire Tier 2.
Yeah. And that spots out SCCC and just grabbing that Desolator. He's actually looking for the Hurricane Pike next. And they're really stymieing this Templar Assassin.
The Troll and the TA have managed to keep up on net worth, though. I think the only reason why Lena so far ahead is because she has 9 kills.
And 9-0, it's going to be a nice chunk of gold for whoever gets that kill, and hopefully for NewBee at least, it goes the way of the Troll or the Templar Assassin.
Yeah. This Troll's farm speed is just so insane with Empower. And TA just naturally farms really quickly. Yeah, it's similar to the last game. They're doing a really good job keeping the lanes pushed out just for a little bit more information and farm. Of course, it's a lot scarier this game because you've got an enemy Lena with Shadow Blade Travels running at you.
Yeah, Lena right now is just really scary, and she's gonna have Shivas soon. She is farming at such an impressive rate, 3,000 net worth above this Troll. But with the kill possibly coming out from Mugi onto Lena, if that does end up happening, if Lena even dies at all, that could be a huge net worth swing for NewBee in their favor.
This Faith incorrectly guessed the ward location for that ward.
So they do smoke his 5. They get the weave for the extra armor. There's the blink with the Burial Strike. It's going to come in as well as the Whirling Axes. They are going to think about the RP, but they don't need it as SCCC takes out the spree of Monet, and they do get one kill in return. That's really quite big for them. Slow down this Lifestealer. It's their 4th kill of the game, only 23 minutes in, but more importantly, it's a little bit more farm for SCCC.
Yeah, I think they were hoping that Roche was going to come up during or after that kill. They do have a trap in there to scout that out from when Roche comes up.
So 17-4 in favor of LFY. Still about a 7,000 net worth lead. We take a look over at Mugi. BKB, Yasha looking for the Manta Style next, and KP still looking for that Midas. I feel like that's been actually quite slow.
Yeah, and this life stealer spent a lot of time in the slaughter as well.
Yeah, his farm's
Just
been a bit slowed down.
Not ideal when you're already behind, but they kind of need it.
So, it's going to be infested in the Swordar. They're going to try and make a move. They do have this ward to spot out KP with the Slithering Crush coming out as well as the infested Shallow Grave is going to save his life for a little bit longer. The BKB is going to be popped by Mugi. They're going to now try and chase down both this Life Stealer as well as the Swordar. They get the RP, and Chaotic Offering comes out on 4 as well as the Slithering Crush. Let's see if they can turn this around. Super's going to try and lead the charge. Kaka is there. Afu with the smoke screen going to stop him from getting out of Burrow Strike. And now it looks as though that Super's kind of in a bad spot as he's now hit by that Burrow Strike. Meanwhile, Tricks of the Trade almost takes out KP. They look for Super. KP might die to this Ricky on the back end, but now Super, they're really trying to find him out as they are now dusting him, and he might be in a little bit of trouble as the Epicenter comes through. Kaka really doesn't do enough, and they do end up getting the deny. We take a look over mid. SCCC is going to find himself a kill on the Sardar. No! It's actually going to be the Slithering Crush that gets him away. DDC, he might be the victim, but Afu here with the smoke screen, and now it looks as though they've turned it around on SCCC. So
Super
they turned it around
so much space.
Wow, they turn it around on SCCC. Not something you see every day with a Warlock and a Ricky taking out a Templar Assassin as farmed as that.
Yeah, I don't think that TA was aware that his whole team was chasing the Lena.
Yeah, and Lena doesn't even end up falling. Actually, he does end up falling. My apologies. It was the deny. But meanwhile, they get the Infest pop. Monet and Super combine with the Laguna Blade to get the kill. And that's a Bloodstone charge right on back, and now +1 on the Bloodstone overall. Missing the fight recap. Always forget. So Afu might be able to grab a courier, but there's the Sentry Ward. Afu might be in a little bit of trouble, but I definitely think he senses that that's there. There it is with the dust as well as the weave. Afu, smoke screen's going to come out, going to continue to hit away at this Sand King. Afu might get away. Here's the tricks of the trade. Can they set this up? They're going to continue to eat the damage on Kaka, and they do end up getting the kill. But while this is happening, space has been made by a Ricky, and they'll get themselves another Aegis.
You know what was cool? That Ricky was saving his ulti for when the dust would run out after the tricks of the trade. But unfortunately, he was still standing on a sentry.
Yeah, so the smoke comes out from NewBee. They're going to try and be aggressive off this Roche kill of LFY. Doesn't look as though they're going to find anything just yet. Showing in the front lines is SCCC. But backing off in full is going to be NewBee. So, down about 8,000 net worth. NewBee, they're still hoping to get to that late game, but this is quite the advantage for LFY. And they've been really using it quite well. Sometimes you see these teams, they get that advantage, and they kind of just sit back too much. But LFY, they have been aggressive pretty much the entire game.
Yep. One thing going for NewBee, though, is I think their core matchups are a lot stronger than LFY's. Like the Troll and the TA do well against.
Super Invis is going to find that Sand King of Kaka. Just comes out with the Shadow Blade, LSA Dragon Slave, Laguna Blade, and you are dead.
Yeah, the Troll and TA naturally do well against the Lifestealer, so LFY can't stall this game for too much longer. Or can't let the game be stalled for too much longer.
Yeah, Templar Assassin going for the Bloodthorn next.
Radiant do have some nice wards to spot out the enemy team here. The Lena's not anywhere nearby, though.
And they're going to try and come around as Afu going to be that nice ward. Followed up by the Sardar infested for right now. Hiding in the trees is going to be SCCC. Let's see if they can go all the way out and around. They're going to spot Mugi. Let's see if they go in. There's the blink. He's
that was
deleted.
fast.
That's faster than I can even say words to know what happened.
Know where the damage from. I think it was a Melt Strike.
It was definitely Burrow Strike for sure. And then what followed that up was the entire side of NewBee. So they
it's cool
smoke
that NewBee
again.
were expecting that, yeah.
And NewBee smoke up again. They're going to spot Monet. Their smoke's going to be broken. Kaka's going to blink on forward. He's going to get the Burrow Strike. Meld Strike comes out from SCCC. The BKB is going to be used as the Chaotic Offering comes on down. Mugi, he's going to BKB up. And now they've
RP.
taken out the first life of Monet. They get the RP off. There's the smoke screen. Mugi going to fall to the Laguna Blade, and the extra damage coming out from the Lina. They're going to get the Infest into this Lina, and now SCCC might be in a little bit of trouble as they get the Southern Crush to come out on the Templar Assassin. They're going to continue to chase down. They're going to get another one in Fate. They do take out KP on the Magnus, and now they look towards SCCC. He looks for the Meld Strike. He'll be dead, and 4 die on NewBee. It completely falls apart, all because of Afu. He has that really well-placed smoke screen after the RP, and everything just turns around on NewBee afterwards.
Yep. I think it's also because the troll used his BKB for the first engagement and didn't have any way of stopping the Lina from killing him afterwards.
So now with that, LFY, they go for the first tier 3 tower. The game not much stopping them, and now Kaka just dead again. Tries to slow this down, but with Ricky there and the smoke screen available, they'll take themselves a kill. And 30 seconds without the TA, LFY, I mean, they're taking advantage of the advantage they had and really pushing the agenda. Up 16,000 net worth, taking a set of racks. It looks very grim for NewBee at this moment. They're pushing out mid and looking for a shrine while that's happening.
It's a really cool choice of rushing as Shivas on Lina this game. I think most of the time I see Lina get a BKB at this point in the item progression, but the Shivas really helped her kite and survive the physical damage from NewBee. And,
it just seems like NewBee, they're so close to winning these team fights, and then just a little misstep by 1 or 2 of these heroes, and everything just falls apart at the seams for him.
Yeah, specifically with his Troll Warlord, if once his BKB runs out, he's kind of he has to fight through a lot of like stuff that prevents him from hitting people. The Slaughter Crush, the Lena Stun, Smoke Cloud, Life Stealer Open Wounds. It's just I think as soon as his BKB runs out, he can't fight correctly anymore. Oh. He has to be more aware of that so they don't overextend like last fight.
So Afu does get them a little bit of knowledge on where NewBee are, and moving forward is going to be Swardar, and he's going to take out that Sentry Ward. He is infested, and LFY, they really don't want to stop, and now it's going to be a double damage picked up for Super. It might be in a whole bunch of trouble as the double Slithering Crush comes out from this Swardar, and now they're going to get RP. The Chaotic Offering is going to follow it up. They're going to lose the Swardar, but he's already got himself that Slithering Crush as the Epicenter comes through from Monet, or on Monet from Kaka, and they get themselves a kill. So a 2-for-1 for right now. So we try to find someone getting a kill, and we end up completely moving the camera around Mugi, who ends up getting killed by DDC. Getting a bit tangled on my words.
Yep.
So they lose Monet, but they take out the Troll. Still a win.
Still really good counter initiation coming from NewBee with a Shallow Grave and RP. Pretty much guaranteed to. The RP is pretty much guaranteed to catch both the Slaughter and the Life Stealer, since they're usually in the same position.
So DDC, Solar Crest finished for him, has that Midas still, now has picked up that gem. And LFY still with a 14,000 net worth lead, but time is ticking as NewBee, see the Templar Assassin moving up on the net worth, looking for that Orchid into the Bloodthorn. Is that the big item that kind of turns around the game?
I think it helps him deal with the Life Stealer when Life Stealer doesn't have rage, or before the Life Stealer uses rage, and it also helps against the Lina since the Lina doesn't have a BKB yet. But in general, I think TH would favor a Daedalus over the Bloodthorn.
Yeah, and that looks to be what Super's going for next, is the Daedalus.
Yeah, and Daedalus got buffed the last patch. It's at a really good place right now if you don't need an MKB. Probably one of the higher DPS items in the game, if you don't count the Bloodthorn active. Now they have a gem up on the Riki now, and the Riki also has a blink, which makes it extremely difficult for NewBee to kill him unless they burst him in one shot.
So now coming over with the smoke is going to be NewBee. Let's see if they can make something happen. Around the corner is LFY, and they're ready to go. They throw their own smoke into the mix. And it looks as though NewBee, they're going to back off towards the lower part of this map, and in turn are going to completely avoid, for now at least, LFY.
Yep. I think
Blink, Slither, and Crush comes out, and now the Shallow Grave is going to be used on Magi pretty early. They do get the Laguna Blade to hit on Kaka. He's going to be falling first, and as he hits the deck, Chaotic Offering is going to be thrown out by this Warlock, as now they get another one in Faith. Faith's not really having a great game. Now S-Triple-C might be in a little bit of trouble, as he's going to be slowed up by that Open Wounds as well as the Diffusal Blade. They get the Silence out on him, and he's going to fall, and now that's 3 dead on NewBee. They do have the buyback from the Templar Assassin, and it is going to be used. LFY, however, are going to sit and stand on their ground.
it's kind of a tough defense for NewBee because they don't have
Blink
RP.
right into the Light Strike Array, trying to get that RP. KP in a whole bunch of trouble. He'll end up falling as the Blink Strike comes out from Afu. The Barrel Strike's going to miss. They're going to get the Silence out onto the Sand King. He's going to be able to fall as well. He hits the deck, so 3 dead on the side of NewBee. Mugi trying to do all he can. The Metal Strike does hit out on Super. Getting a little bit low, but the Light Strike Array hits on 2, and now they're going to bring down Mugi. They're going to look for more in the Templar Assassin, who bought back, and that will be another kill for the side of LFY. NewBee, they've been completely team-wiped, and with that, the game is over, and LFY even the series at 2, or at 1.
Yep. So LFY got a really good advantage through the laning phase, and they held it and really pressed the advantage really well.
Yeah, that early
it was really hard for NewBee to fight into LFY until they had a certain amount of items, and it looks like they never really got to a point where they could fight LFY comfortably.
It seemed as though, yeah, they just weren't fighting comfortably. And at times they seemed to be forcing the issue, which to me didn't seem like the right call. But they knew they needed a team fight or two to really bring it back.
But it's also LFY, like a great job of LFY counter-initiating and predicting where NewBee would want to make things happen.
So MVP of the game got to be Super, 17, 1, and 11.